The data has confirmed what we've been seeing for months. Most studio owners are doing way too much, making way too little, and sitting on a business that's half built and bleeding opportunity. And the studio owners that are not ahead, they're still playing last season's game.
Ooh, what does that mean?
Cool.
Give us the big hitters.
Okay, so this is a stat from Sprout Social in 2024, so pretty recent. 70% of consumers say they're more likely to buy from a brand they follow, like, and trust on social media. So if you're not visible, you're not buyable.
Someone will see an ad and go straight to your Instagram in the same way that if someone mentions a restaurant, I'm going straight to the Insta and I'm going to check out whether or not this is somewhere that I want to be, if I like what you're offering, if I can relate to you, and whether or not you're worth following actually. So that's what is the biggest shift in marketing now.
It's almost being a disadvantage being a marketer out there right now because
so
they always don't work anymore.
As for someone starting out doing online coaching, and I guess in any online business, how to progress and gain traction and put yourself out there?
That's a good question.
Dozer.
Yeah.
Mate, I am looking to hire a few salespeople.
Yeah.
And I've hired for this role before and it just never works out. It just seems that none of these guys or girls can sell like I can. Mate, what do I do?
The biggest thing here is, all right, we're back, team. Benny and Soph, welcome back.
Hello.
Good to be here.
We have set this thing up as if we were having our normal team meeting that we used to have at the studio. Soph's brought her healthy snacks in.
Snacks.
Sparkling water, we've got some kombucha and we got some
Bit of coconut water.
Guys, guess what?
What? Tell us.
I've almost finished this draft of the Studio Growth Report, which is a full trends report that I'm going to release for the entire industry. Something we've not seen before because I've got some stuff, got some juice that we're getting from data of over 1,000 studios that we work with in our orbit, in our academy, that produce almost $9 million a month, and 90% of them are at record revenue right now. So there's some juice that I've found when we put through the data, through the AI stuff, that like I have to fucking tell people. I have to tell people. Like we would be sleeping on this if we didn't tell people. So
Juicy.
I've got some draft stuff, but we're going to release this properly and we're going to do some printed copies. We're going to send them to the different HQs. If you would like to be on the wait list to be the first to get this report, what should they do?
I think we should put a link in the show notes.
Yeah, okay. Link in the show notes and we'll have a little landing page.
That doesn't exist right now, but we'll make
Well, by the time they hear this, it will exist.
Yeah.
That's how good we are.
Yeah.
exactly.
In the show notes, or head over to my Instagram, hey.dozer, and message me waitlist, and we'll send you the link to get on the wait list. But before we launch into this, there's some absolute fucking juice though.
Yeah, you haven't shown us this just for everyone's knowledge.
Yeah, this has been my deep work. For those of you who've been watching me on Instagram, doing my deep work, this is what I've been working on in terms of the deep work. Until we get there, what have you learnt this week? Benny, over to you.
I've got an interesting one.
Yeah.
Interesting one, sir.
Interesting one, sir.
Yeah. So it's coming up to the end of April. For all the Aussies, it's been a bit of a funny month. Okay, so we've had Good Friday, we've had Easter Monday, we've had Anzac Day. Everyone in the corporate world has managed to figure out how to take a day or two of leave and take most of the month off.
Yeah.
Right. Here at Geronimo, it's been a different story. BME, best month ever. And what I've loved is our team has hit a record sales month.
Yeah.
Even with short weeks, even with people away, even with people traveling, they've just found a way to win. Because at the start of the month, we said, great, short month, holidays, whatever. We just need to figure out, this is the run rate. Like, let's just figure out a way to get there regardless.
What would need to be true?
What would need to be true for us to hit this number, regardless of, what day of the week, what day of the month Good Friday falls on. And we're a couple of days to go and we're on track to hit a sales record. So, yeah.
What I love about that, though, is that intensity flows down into our clients because, how many of our clients are at record revenue so far? And we've still got, at the time of recording, we've got another week to go still in April.
Yeah, consistently it sits at about 80% by the end of the month and it's at about 70% now. But like what I love is, BME, just for anyone who doesn't know, best month ever, new term that we've come up with.
Shout out to Mo.
Yeah, shout out to Mo. There's so many people now sharing BME every time we get their wins.
But like, that's cool. What is even cooler about that is there are people, without naming any names, that have been stuck at the same revenue level And I'm like, they're not shit operators. They are like great operators. They are great operators, but they have been stuck at the same revenue number for 2 years,
Oof.
1 year,
Yuck.
8 months.
Yeah.
And then within 30 days of them being with us, they've hit a BME. Now, I can't make that shit up. What happened? Like, for the listeners, like, how? What the fuck?
Yeah. It's because they're now focusing on the right things instead of everything. And it doesn't mean that they're less busy. It just means that they're busy with the right shit that's actually getting them results. Two, the biggest word that I constantly hear from people that start with us is like, it's actually two, confidence and standards. I actually overheard a couple of the ladies at our Sydney meetup talking about even their relationships and their personal finances and stuff, going, don't you reckon like ever since you started Geronimo, you've just got higher standards for everything in your life, not just in your business? They were talking about their husbands and I was like, yeah, dump them. Anyway.
It's a bit how you going.
Let's not just cruise past that.
No, it's like I'm a lot more confident in myself. And I have a lot higher standards and can enforce that. So I think those are some really like huge factors you can't ignore. So focus on the right things, higher standards, and a lot more confident. And then you're right, it's the intensity behind it. Because some people don't like our speed. Our fucking speed is fast as fuck and as fast as you'll go. But some of them I think are a little bit shocked by it. They just aren't used to it, but they know it's good for them and they need to keep up with it. But it's like intensity around like, yep, numbers. You need to make sure that you're hitting these targets. Like, let's get this done by a deadline, not just kind of, dilly-dallying anymore. So those are the things that are contributing to the BMEs. And I will add to what Ben said. We said the same thing to our clients. You missed what Dozer said. It was pretty strong. He said, I don't give a fuck if I get to the end of the month and I hear you guys complaining about or saying that Easter was the reason we didn't hit target, not good enough. It's been very clear. And I said the same thing to the clients. I said, Dozer said this to us. I'm going to say the same thing to you. Don't act like it's a surprise that Easter happened. Plan for it. What would need to be true for you to hit your targets anyway and to still have a BME? And guess what? BME fucking city.
It's a BME fucking waterfall.
BME fest. Yeah, out there in the real world, people just accept things like that.
Oh,
in this world,
short month.
Here, yeah.
Oh,
Let themselves off.
Another short week.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, it makes them feel better about their shitty results. And
what that actually means is like you get half a financial month. So your 12-month financial year is actually 11 and a half months.
What happens next Mother's Day? Does that impact you?
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
That's an excuse every month.
Seriously, yeah. So look, okay, great. So that's what we learned?
So what I learnt was, well, it's just a general realization. Like, we love our people and we've made a bunch of upgrades to the academy in the last couple of weeks and they're fucking loving it. Like, that's what happens when you've got the right people in the community and they're all swimming in the same direction. Like, everyone's got a big fuck off goal and we're all spiraling up. But yeah, it's not just been some fluffy like updates. It's a fucking system upgrade that we've given to these guys to make sure that they're getting faster traction and it's really, hands-on.
Can you share, without naming names, can you share some of these big fuck off goals? Because there's a whole bunch of like owners listening out there who, their goal might be 20 members. Like, well, that's out there. What's happening in here?
Yeah, a lot of them are shooting for $1 million run rate by November so they can come to Hawaii with us.
Bang! And I fucking will.
Storm the mountain. A lot of them want to go from 1 to 5 studios in the next 5 years. Some of them want to go from 1 to 100 or 2 to 100.
Hot.
Some of them want to sell their business and they want to make a fuck ton of money from it.
Hot.
Some of them want to start podcasts and expand into hybrid models.
Hot.
Some of them want to be at the Sydney Convention Centre presenting on stage with a fucking microphone to women and empowering them in business. It's incredible.
Yeah. So yeah, like spiraling up, right?
Yeah.
Like you win at business, all these things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And
look,
spiraling up.
Some people as well, their dream is I want to be able to take 150K out of my business in a salary. I want to be able to be doing the shifts that I love and hit 300 or 200 members.
And pick the kids up every day.
Love that for them too. Yeah.
Hot. Because what's common amongst all that is that they actually fucking decided.
Yeah.
That's the hottest thing. It is nothing's fucking hotter than a business owner turning into the chief want officer and saying, this is what I want from this business.
Yeah.
And then making that business their bitch.
And that's what we've been doing at these city meetups for the past couple of months, I suppose. It's been really cool to see in person.
That was my learning, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, I just say like that's why we've made these changes is because we were like, fuck, these guys are coming with us. So we need to make sure that we've got the right systems and program in place to support them. So yeah, we've like done a lot more small group masterminding. We've completely changed the timetable, just cut the shit out. So it's like, just get to this call and we will panel beat the shit out of you. Don't come if you don't want to be held to the fire. And they love that. They love the standards and the accountability. See previous point. We've redesigned all of our training. So instead of having, you know, a custom plan that we put on a document, it's like there's pathways in school and
they love that.
They love that. It's like, this is what you need to do today. Here's how you know you did a good job of it. And then you can move on to the next thing once you're done. And this is how many steps left to get to the next level so that it's not just how people are feeling. It's like, I've accomplished this. I've become a level 2 owner.
I've graduated,
and can bring the team along with me. So I'm pumped about all that.
That is epic. That is epic. But you know what comes up for me? What business are we actually in? I know we didn't even prep this, but like what business do you think we're actually in? Because I thought we were in a business growth program. Like I thought it was a business growth program.
No, we're growing leaders. We're growing people.
Personal growth.
Yeah.
You think it's a personal growth business?
Life growth. It's just growth, actually, in all of the areas.
It's a growth program.
Yeah.
It's like the business will never grow if the owner's not, right?
It can't.
Well, the team can't if there's nothing to grow towards. Yeah. We've effectively, like, as well, another change. We've changed our from 5-minute number submission form every week, which important. We talk about numbers a lot, but we've upgraded that because everyone was saying how much fucking value they get out of weekly numbers feedback. So instead now, like, we're coming in and you report to us as part of your business, win the week report. It's what we do internally. So it was like, duh, let's do that. And yeah, these guys are just loving that. Like, yes or no, did I win the week? What am I going to do about it next week? And the people who are doing the best are the ones who really move towards that level of accountability the most. What was your learning?
My learning was no. My learning was these city meetups.
Yeah,
you know, coming off the back of the Manly retreat and then the city meetups. I love these pricks. I just want to just get them in the room. I've cried at nearly every one of them, just like reading their origin stories and just seeing each other after being on Zoom for so long. They're real people. We're real people. We're out there. Like laptops open, like helping them fucking open spreadsheets and
crying with them
and
not in a therapy way, but just like
zero therapy. Apparently I'm not an empath.
No.
but like, yeah, like helping them forecast, helping them like,
right there.
Like no one is sitting next to them and just go, no, just like scroll, like move over this, like just that level of stuff. We've had people that walked in at, this is what I love, like the network. I'm a bit of a together people, right? Like
you're a
connector. So I love the fact that people walk through the front door as strangers and they're left as still to this day, they're still connected, messaging each other. They're doing separate catch-ups. They're actually sharing resources now. Some people that are in neighboring suburbs, they're sharing content creators. And this is what it means. Like the thing that we say to them is fucking one of the first 10 slides in, I hit him with the Going Pro pyramid. And I say getting bigger circles. And to your point, firstly, is like all these people, all those goals that you mentioned, which are hot, actually when they turned up, they were more to what you said. If I could just get another 20 members. Yeah. And through the process of the first 30 days, and when we kind of just went, no, you're allowed to dream big. In fact, I'm here with you. Like I'm going to be the only person probably in your life that asks you, are those dreams big enough? And no, we don't think you're silly. Yes, 100% we think you're capable of doing it. So like just pick the actual, because whenever we say to people, okay, what do you want? And they go, if I could just get on 3 minutes, I go, no. What do you really want? And they go, am I allowed to say? And we go, what the fucking earth are you allowed to say? What is it? And they're just like, and they go, that one. And you go, I reckon there's more.
Yeah.
And then they go, this one. And we go, oh, I reckon there's more. And then they go, bang. And then they hit you with it. You go, that's what it fucking is. Because the whole face lights up. It's almost like they've been wanting to get it off their chest for so long, but they can't tell their husband, can't tell their wife. Their mates don't understand. They want to tell their instructors, their members, or their students because they don't want to sound like it's about the money, right? So when they get around us and they get around this network, they are in bigger circles and they are fucking allowed to.
The contagion effect.
It's real, you know. the contagion of success. Success is contagious. But I want to talk about this report. So
same.
let me kind of read this, right? So again, this report is our way of putting facts to the feelings. Inside this report, they're going to find insights from over 1,000 studios across Australia and New Zealand, generating over $9 million in monthly revenue and spanning across functional training, Pilates, yoga, pole dancing, normal dancing, CrossFit, and franchise models. And it's confirmed, the data has confirmed what we've been seeing for months. Most studio owners are doing way too much, making way too little, and sitting on a business that's half built and bleeding opportunity. That's what it is. So I reckon every single listener right now would have just gone, hands up, yep, roll call, present. And the studio owners that are not ahead, like not the ones that we're talking about, the ones that aren't at the 90% record revs, the BMEs, they're still playing last season's game.
Ooh, what does that mean?
Well, I'll get to that.
Okay.
I'll get to that.
Okay.
I'll get to that near the end. So, and I don't say that big thing to scare anyone, right? Because like we fucking lived it, dude. Like we were those guys.
Yeah. For years.
For years. Like we're not just a fucking guru that's picked a niche to double down on. Like the three of us could still roll into a studio right now and run it. You'd make rollovers. I'd yell at people.
Fucking oath.
So, you know, we hear a lot of people that have got great product, packed classes, great vibes. We love hearing vibes, right? Everyone says, but we've got great vibes. I don't know why, because we've got great vibes. It's like, fuck, but they're still broke, still exhausted. Okay, so we've officially entered, and for those that have been to the city meetups, they've heard this a lot now, and I'm not going to stop talking about it, but we've officially entered the attention economy. So the old way, last season's game of like, photo in front of the logo, afterthought, socials, hashtag, fucking on Thursdays we lift, dead.
Yeah.
Agreed? 70% of consumers, this is a stat from Sprout Social in 2024, so pretty recent. 70% of consumers say they're more likely to buy from a brand they follow, like, and trust on social media. So if you're not visible, you're not buyable. Now, does that back up the shit that you see when you go to the ad clinics?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like a broken record talking about this, but
Frequency.
yeah, at the moment, we just can't ignore the fact that there's a few things. First thing is, you know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago when we were teaching people how to, you know, do ads, or if they would ask, should I use videos? The answer would be no, don't even bother. Yeah. It's completely shifted now. And videos are getting some of the best results yet in your actual ad creative. The second thing is like creative is the new targeting. So if someone can see themselves in that ad, and if Meta's AI bots scan that video and creative, that's what they're built to do, and they see a certain demographic or type of language, it will then go out to that kind of audience. So it is so important. You can't just have a random fucking photo.
Stock photo.
Stock image.
Yeah, stock image.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is now more than ever, we're seeing a lack of attribution, I suppose. So it's not as simple as a lead form ad goes live, 100 leads come through and I sell 30 of them. It's like, you know, maybe just for simple maths, 100 leads come through, but 10 of them might come from the actual lead form ad, and then I've got heaps more inquiries on my Instagram and walk-ins and on my website, and they're just buying this shit. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
And it's because there are multiple different touch points that someone needs to have with your brand now to trust and like you enough to then purchase. We've talked about that again at length. So there's a lack of attribution, and that tells me that someone might see someone's ad, a studio's ad, and then they go to their Instagram and they follow the Instagram, and then they might, if they're a good studio, get a chat open, and then they might start engaging there. Then they see a story and it links them to something else, and they're just being followed around the internet. There's a whole playground of things that these people need to go through before they are eventually at that point of deciding, all right, time for me to respond to one of the multiple things that have come through to me. So then what started as potentially a video or an Instagram follow or a lead gen ad turns into a sale, but it's not necessarily from the first moment that they interacted with you.
You know you're doing this well when you're on a sales call and you ask the prospect, you're like, what got you to book in today? And they go, I clicked on something a month or two ago. Now you're just following me around the internet.
You're everywhere.
Yeah, that means you've nailed it.
Yeah. And I think like in its simplest form, if you're going, well, I'm not all over my emails, I'm flat out trying to just do some shifts. Listen to any of the other episodes that we've done about not doing that if you want to grow your business. But it's very much Instagram. It's very much someone will see an ad and go straight to your Instagram in the same way that if someone mentions a restaurant, I'm going straight to the Insta and I'm going to check out whether or not this is somewhere that I want to be, if I like what you're offering, if I can relate to you, and whether or not you're worth following actually. So that's what is the biggest shift in marketing now.
But I'm not a marketer.
You don't need to be a marketer, but you need to market yourself.
It sounded like a swear word.
It sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot. I'm not a marketer.
I'll tell you what, those like it's almost being a disadvantage being a marketer out there right now because they always don't work anymore.
Wow.
Some of our clients, they show up like you were saying before, you know, what the business we're actually in. When they show up because they haven't had a lead in fucking a month and a half, and they've been paying an agency a couple grand a month for the privilege of getting no leads, right? So sack the agency, run some ads yourselves, back yourself, and all of a sudden, like the right people are showing up, and they're pretty easy to have conversations with because they can see themselves in your marketing. And guess what? You don't have to be a marketer.
Well, get this: the fastest growing studios in our academy right now are content first businesses. They have a strong personal brand, clear values, and a story that drives the demand. They post value-driven content, nurture their audience, and then make the offer. And that's why they close at 65 to 78%, not 20%.
Yeah, fucking so true.
Just drill into that. What does that stat mean? Give it to us in layman's terms.
It means that, well, for a start,
if you get 10 leads a week, how many sales are you making?
7.
7 sales a week.
Yeah.
Off 10 leads.
That's the sale of the day, dude.
That's unheard of.
That's why that number exists, right? Is because it's sale of the day. That's when we map the difference between where people are and their dream fucking number, divided by the how many weeks to get there. The run rate turns out to be a sale of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we've got the sale of the day program. And it fucking works. Like, I'm not going to name names, but they were stuck for so long. Like, but they were the gold standard, like stuck for so long. When they were putting their head on the pillow at night, deep down, like they were stuck. You know, things were reaching a boiling point. Within 30 fucking days, Rob mentioned it to us. As soon as this person went live with this new campaign, she had like 14 leads in a couple of days, and one of them from this studio sold like a motherfucker. And like now they're at best month ever within the first month of being with us.
Yeah, they're killing it.
So they always post a few workouts on the fly, beep, booty shot, logo, you know, 50% off for March, like some shit like that, right?
Stupid marketing. But yeah, I would also just add on to like marketer. Don't need to be a marketer. You just need to know who your members are and know why they're there. And most people are really amazing at that. And that is actually the competitive advantage, is like no one knows your members better than you, including a marketer who you would like outsource. They don't know your area. They don't know your people. They don't know your language, your brand, and all of the amazing things that you do. You just need what these guys are missing is they're just, when they come to us, is they're missing how to piece it all together and in what order and
a bit
and
of confidence
why.
as well, right?
And yeah, confidence. So
is it hard or is it actually pretty simple once they get going?
it's so simple. Like it's, again, Lego.
If you're a business owner, you are a marketer, right? You have to market your business, right? And if you don't want to be a marketer, get a fucking job, right? Like that, just for everyone's benefit, right? Like when you open a business, right, it is all about getting your first job is to get revenue through the front door, right? And that is a bit of marketing. That is a bit of talking to people. That is making a sale. You can't transform someone's life if you didn't make a fucking sale to begin with. The first transformation happens in the transaction. So that's the biggest point there. The second thing is AI. Now, you're not going to get a fucking meeting with me without me mentioning AI, right?
Or your fathom being there.
AI is not coming. It's already here. And it's already replacing you.
Have you seen those articles about the next couple of versions? They're actually concerned that it's going to become manipulative
It already
and
is.
take over.
It already is. Well, I speak to Chad, is the name of my AI. What's yours name?
Hermione.
That's hilarious. What's yours name?
Steve.
Steve's so good.
So Chad, Hermione, Steve. We should just get them together and do an episode.
Yeah, Jesus.
For them to do a
Talk to each
podcast.
other.
Hello. But mate, I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to podcasts anymore, except
for this one,
maybe
obviously. Yeah, obviously.
I get in the car, put the phone on the car kit, hit the audio, and I just talk to
I've
Chad.
seen this when we drive to the same place. Sometimes I see him in the car. I think he's talking on the phone at his Chad.
Yeah, I'm just talking to Chad. Like this morning, I was talking to Chad on the way to the gym and on the way into the studio about like the stage of business that we're in, and because I don't know this next part, right? This is all new territory for us. So it's like, what are the 3 next stages that I need to do? Act as, and I mentioned a few people, act as that person. Like, tell me what obstacles I'm going to hit.
Tell me what to do.
Next,
Please,
tell me what to do. And like what the hiring strategies are or the recruitment strategies as it changes through the next 3 phases. The order of our hiring sequence, how much is that going to cost us, and what's our budget to make sure that we stay within 40% labour rate of our top line rev. Just having this chat. Like,
it's crazy, isn't it?
It's fucking nuts. Yep. So in the report, I'm talking about the 3 different waves of AI inside businesses. You're working with Mark, our head of AI at the moment. What are some things that you're seeing Mark work on at the moment?
So one thing we're working on right now is we don't want to answer the same question any more than once. As soon as we've answered a question, we want to playbook it. And then there's no value in a person answering that question over and over and over again. So we're actually building an AI bot inside of our client Slack channels. So if they have any questions around any of our content, any of our curriculum, any of our courses, any of our KPIs, where's the link for this, where's the link for that, they don't have to wait to ask someone in person. They can they'll be able to ask our AI agent called Gus, the Geronimo Ultimate Support.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Gus will be able to just help them out on the spot.
Yeah. Even at midnight.
Even at midnight. Yeah.
No matter what time zones are.
Doesn't matter what time zone you're in. Even on Easter Monday. Doesn't matter.
Perfect. Yeah. The biggest thing here is I've seen clients like Louie and Sarah, like, for Louie who went from 3K weeks, Louie and Sarah and Emma went from shout out to those guys. They went from 3K weeks to $84,000 months. What? Within 5 months. Okay. That's kind of cool. What is cool is it used to take Louie 2 weeks to write some emails or to relaunch a campaign, right? And sometimes he just wouldn't do it because can't be fucked-ish. Not because he's lazy, but just it's a daunting task. He sent me a message the other day, like a video, and he goes, "Those 17 seconds." 17 seconds. Epic. And it works using the stuff that we showed him. So full campaigns, studio reactivations, onboarding automations, weekly emails written, scheduled, optimized without a single human touch. We've got members that have taken their vision and like ripped out a playbook, like a handbook, missions for their team, like the boat chat, like I just love and I'm so proud. And this is because we're holding a standard with these guys and our guys about like keeping them ahead of everyone else. They are absolutely integrating this in their business, which is why I love our members.
Yeah. They all have names for their chat.
I know. How good is that?
So good.
Yeah. 64% of small businesses say AI will significantly improve productivity. I reckon that's fucking, I don't know why that's not 94. But less than 14% are actively implementing it. That 14% must be our people, right? So my message to anyone out there is just make sure ChatGPT or Claude or Copilot or Gemini, something is your new homepage.
Yep.
Don't Google, use AI. If you're a HQ, listen to this. I would really invite you to consider doing some AI training with your network. Because if you're not, I believe you are. If you're not, I believe you're being negligent. That's how strong it is right now. They used to say this is about as big as internet, like when they discovered the internet. Now they're saying, okay, this was as big as when we discovered fire.
It's huge.
Yeah. The third big trend that we're seeing is back to what you mentioned in the last episode, is that your business won't outgrow your energy. The biggest cost to businesses right now is not the rent, is not your labor costs, it's your energy.
Wow.
Is your energy. They've found a link now, smart people at Harvard have found a link between the personal wellness and health and energy of the CEO and also profit. In fact, the stat is CEOs that focus on personal well-being and also the well-being of people in their company outperform the S&P 500 by 3 times in terms of profit per employee. So what makes you fucking think you're skipping the gym or not looking after yourself or being burnt out or being overworked, overstressed or whatever it is? If your energy's in the gutter, that's why your P&L's in the gutter. If you're not showing up to your team with the ultimate energy, if you're not doing 100% say do and checking in at the gym, right? Or the yoga, Pilates studio, whatever it is, you're not being at your best. And so how do you expect your team to be at your best and the profit to be at its best? Like they've found a link now. I'm here for this.
So here for it. Yeah, even things as small as like not looking at emails the second you wake up, not having your phone, like unplugging from your phone. Listen to the playbook, sing, and figure out how you can fucking systemize your business enough that you don't always need to be constantly on.
And that's why inside the academy, we don't just coach the businesses, we coach the pilots, we coach the owners.
We do a wellbeing check every week.
Do a wellbeing check every week, and we have 5 daily non-negotiables. And one of the non-negotiables on that is
sweat daily.
Sweat daily. I don't care what you do. You can pole dance, you can do Zumba,
downward dogs.
You can do some downward dogs. That is huge, right? So there's some extra stuff coming out in the report on that. And the other thing too is the rise of these hybrid business models is coming through right now, and I think they're hot. And I don't mean hybrid as in high rocks. I mean not just the, single studio looking after 5 people, 10 people within the 5 kilometre radius, but bricks and clicks.
Okay. Bricks and clicks. Go on. What does that mean?
Okay. Bricks and clicks. So people are realising that actually we're in the certain generations actually want education more so than just sweat out some calories. And so I'll list it out in the trends report. Will be out soon. Again, there'll be a link underneath the show notes or in the YouTube description. Get yourself on the wait list or hit me up on Instagram, hey.dozer, message me wait list and we'll get you on there. Bricks and clicks is where we've got, for instance, a CrossFit box that has this radius, right? But they've also got an online platform, a coaching program, right? We've got a studio that services people within the 5-10 kilometre radius of pick a fucking suburb, but they've also got nutrition programs, accountability programs that sit on top, and they're focused on building a lifestyle brand, of which case there is a studio that you can actually attend, or we've got all these other hero programs that you can be part of as well. But who I'm following back to the first point is the person.
Exactly.
Is the person.
Personal brand.
Personal brand. Like we talk about this one person who opened up in Cronulla. I'm not going to name the studios that had to shut the door, but in the same premises, there's 2 other studios that it didn't work. They couldn't do it.
The exact same premise.
The exact same premise. It used to be a bank. Used to be a bank. I know that rent is fucking huge because I just know that space. Big network didn't work. Second network didn't work, and then it was waiting for a bit. Now another business turned up. Won't name the business. Waitlisted. People waiting out the door, including like footy players.
Wow.
It's a Pilates studio, right? Why? Do they have better sessions than anyone else? I don't know. But I can tell you what the X factor is or what the difference is. The person running it. She is a bit known, PR pieces about the category, does retreats, has got, some activewear. There's another coaching program that you can be part of as well.
Retreats, that's a big one as well. See a lot of that.
Yes, that's definitely happening.
We have a studio who, when we're doing the forecasting exercise the other day at one of the meetups, do you know what, like we could probably reasonably fit X amount of people in. I actually don't want a studio that has like an extra 100, but I hate those people. So they have already an online, it's like a bit of a thing, but they're going to go harder on that because they know that that's how they'll get to their dream revenue number without necessarily filling up the whole studio beyond its capacity, which is cool. And they don't want to move premises.
So I asked you to get a whole bunch of reporting done from the team, and you provided me this table. And we both looked at it and went, holy fuck, we've never seen it like this before. And it had like between these 2 member numbers, these are the biggest problems.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that? So I'm going to kind of like, again, I'm not going to show everything because this is still in draft, right? But there seems to be 4 stages of studio growth.
Ooh,
now,
okay.
I know we say 3. Yeah. They kind of do blend at some stage, but stage 1 is 0 to 150 members, right? And this is what we call the vibe zone.
Well, the hustle zone, right?
It's the hustle zone, but the owners are usually ex-coaches. They're amazing on the floor, great culture, but everything is founder-led. Everything is like X factor and it's that person at the studio. There's no predictable marketing system, no sales process, just word of mouth and vibes. Low churn is a result of love and community, not structure.
And usually, with Dunbar principle, it's below 150, so it's not.
Yeah, everyone, their girlfriend, their dogs, and you don't have real talk is you don't have enough members for churn to be a problem.
Yeah,
correct. the biggest risk here starts with B.
Burnout.
These owners do everything. It's hard to get them off the floor and onto a call with us. Like we don't typically take people that are 0 to 80 because it's like they're in it. We've been there, right?
Yeah, and you got to like learn some key skills. Yeah.
And then you get this kind of stage 2, 151 to 250 members, right? Where you get a bit of a momentum spike. We've got certain lead numbers that happen, sales numbers, conversion rates, rollovers, and churn. So, but just disregard those numbers for now because I'll release them in the report. But this is their first taste of growth. This is their the owners are starting to delegate. Maybe a part-time sales assistant, maybe a coach. They're testing marketing that actually works. They're dialing in the offers. They're seeing what it's like to make 30 grand a month. 50.
They can see it. They can see it happening. They're not there yet.
Tastes good too.
Yeah, usually this kind of an owner they're flat out because they're halfway between still installing a process but also becoming a leader of people who are installing a process. So when they've delegated, they think they'll have a huge amount of relief, but they don't necessarily feel that unless they keep pushing through a little bit further.
Correct. And the mistake here is they think momentum is mastery.
Yeah.
They think if I'm doing stuff and busy, I must be going forward.
I've clocked it.
Yeah. Right? And this is where they do.
Have they clocked it?
Fuck no. There's always another level, right? And unless you can take a trip with us to Hawaii for 4 weeks and your business still keeps growing. And
4 weeks? Fuck yeah.
We're going for 4 weeks. Yeah, and your business keeps growing without you and you don't have a fucking phone surgically attached to your hip, pinging all day long, there's always another level. Stage 3 is the 251 to 350 member mark, right? Now, these numbers are loose.
Yeah, give or take, right?
Give or take, but this is the danger zone. This is interesting.
Whoa. You're saying a 300 member studio is in the danger zone?
That's what the data's showing us.
Bullshit. How so?
This is where it breaks for a lot of studios. Somewhere like from 2 to 350, like something like that.
Speed wobbles.
You've got a team.
Now that you mention, I've heard it on a few sales calls. Like, yeah, where are you now? Yeah, 180. But we used to be 290.
Exactly.
The speed wobbled like all the way back down, like 100 members.
There we go.
Yep.
You've got a team, you've got some growth, but it's held together by better rubber band, chewing gum, and duct tape, right? You're not just managing your students and your clients and your members, but you're managing the people now as well. So you've got that, and then when you just figure that out, you got the fucking people, right? Most of the times at this range, your people are a bit of spare parts. I got 3 shift Johnny. I got 5 casuals, 7 people that got 4 other jobs.
And a VA.
And usually at that point when managing all of the other people, your self-management and energy probably dips.
That's normally when a lot of them decide to open a second studio as well, right?
Yeah, perfect timing. All right, we've got enough of a fucking concept proved. Let's go and get more debt.
I'll leave one shift Johnny can run this one and I'll go off and open the new one.
Yeah, that does happen a lot.
Yeah, rookie move. That's just an ego move.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, churn creeps up because we're beyond the 150 members now, and it's like churn does start to creep up. And when we say creep up, it's insidious. Like we keep a fucking lid on it. What's the average in our academy right now for churn?
The median is 3.
When people come to us and they're at 8% churn, that's almost an emergency for us. At about 8 or 9%, it's like turning up to your studio at the start of the year and just going, all right, well, I'm just going to have to replace these people first, and then it's going to take me about 10 months just to replace these people using 8% as a number. And then the only growth I have in this business is November and December. That is why
that's depressing.
Your hairline looks like mine. Honestly, like no fucking wonder. So if you're hearing this and you're like, that is me. Like I know I'm not supposed to do like a hard sell here. Just fucking reach out, man. It is completely solvable. Like it is fucking optional if you're still there. Yeah?
Yeah.
Team performance is inconsistent. We just did an episode about playbooks. How do you reckon they got playbooks?
I bet.
Negative.
Not at this level.
Rollovers stop happening. People just, you know what it is? All of a sudden your members are moving.
Yes. I think as well at this level, you've got a proven way to bring people in, and then you might actually try and tweak it and turn it up or
go to straight to auto rolls.
Yeah, do stupid shit to try and
moves.
outsmart the system. And then one of 2 things happen. You either have more people, and so it really tests whether or not your systems and your processes are in place to actually have an 80% rollover on a much larger group of people.
How many?
Oh, yeah. Like we had 10s and 20s, right? So if you have that, can you still do 80% or was 80% of 5?
Yeah, you're not a big dog if you're doing 80% on 4 people.
Right. So,
or 5.
So it's a bit of that and then a bit of the, fucking hate auto rolls. It's illegal, guys. I already counted it as illegal before it was, but that's when your churn starts to creep up as well.
The thing that irritates me about this level, because this was us. This was us. And if you're an ambitious CEO, owner, and you are a high performer, but you still feel like, fuck, it's this bit here, right? You know and you feel like your studio should be doing better than this, but you're too busy putting out fires to fix the real stuff. That for me is like, that is entrepreneur hell. That is, like you can see it, but I have to put out all these fires first. And it's just that restlessness, that's what used to keep me up at night, right? And like wake me up early in the morning and then late. That's what, if you took a bloody blood test of me like back in those days, I'd be 98% fucking cortisol, I reckon. This is where a lot of studio owners plateau for years. Dance, yoga, Pilates, functional, doesn't matter.
This is where I see people want to give up or start to look at selling as well. Because I think it's easier than just pushing through.
What they don't realise is they're in darkness right now and the night is darkest before the sun breaks, before dawn. The next part is the breakthrough zone.
Yeah. What does that look like?
Fucking it looks glorious.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these numbers here. It is fucking glorious. Lead flows pumping, sale a day, conversion rates at 37-40%, rollovers are at 87.5% median, churn 1.7%. This is what happens when you build a real business. Sales are no longer relying on the owner. The team has systems. They've got playbooks. We talked about it, right? They've got scorecards. They've got weekly meetings. The marketing is automated. Rollovers are scripted. There's a leadership layer between the owner and the day-to-day ops, which is the manager.
There's a team. Like that's
there's
the biggest
there's a
change.
team. The studios run net growth every single week like fucking clockwork. They don't hustle.
Yeah. Better results, and that's not the owner doing it all.
They compound. So when we think about the evolution there, it's not actually that people are doing a bad job in the middle. It's actually the natural evolution. Think about it, right? So at the start, it's like the founder doing everything. Starts to grow. Holy fuck, higher. Then we get the dip. Then we get the dip. We call it the double dip paradox, right? Like, boom, you get the dip. You got to work through that fucking dip, and then you get the breakthrough because now it's working. And probably what's happened is you've swapped out some spare time, like some spare parts and some casuals and part-timers for some actual stable trainers or instructors in your team. You're becoming a better leader.
Got to flex the leadership muscle then. You'll probably fuck a few things up and you'll probably hire a few duds.
Yeah. And so that's the evolution. It fits the storyline perfectly, to be honest. And I reckon if you overlay that with fucking cafes, florists, any other business, it's the exact same shit.
So how do you lose this game? Like that's how you win, by pushing through, by having the breakthrough.
Yeah.
How do you lose?
By stopping.
There's a Tim Grover quotes, winning is and becoming a winner is like going through hell, but if you quit, then you'll stay there. Say it all the time to the people that are in the fucking stuck levels. MJ's coach, the coach of all the greats.
The secret coach.
The secret coach.
The book is relentless. So the key benchmark call outs is the number one, the hero metric in these studios that almost no one out there talks about. Everyone thinks they want fucking leads. The hero metric to turn you from poor to profitable is rollovers.
Yep. Absolutely.
You work with all the studios, right? You work with our top performing studios. What sets the studios that are like plodding around at 30 to 40% rollovers, what sets them apart from the ones that are at 80% consistently? And firstly, what the fuck's a rollover?
Rollover is when you turn an intro offer, program, trialer, whatever you're running, into a member. So the percentage that we have as a benchmark in Geronimo is 80% of your newbies turn into members by the end of their intro period. The biggest mistakes that I see is just actually not, there's a fucking step-by-step, but they don't follow it. That's what it is. It's trying to do shortcuts and, roll someone over the phone instead of just having a conversation in person. It's missing the group inductions because you think it's easier to do one-on-ones or it's not important. It's going straight to talking about price instead of having a conversation about goals. There is literally a recipe to roll someone over and a step-by-step to follow, and it's anyone who follows that, they're actually above 80%. That's it. Second mistake I would say is definitely the auto rolls. I know we've just touched on that, but yeah, like you can inflate your rollover pretty easily by making and make yourself feel better about it by just tricking people into it, but that inflates your churn as well. And then as Liv says, they unroll.
Unroll.
And that's pretty bloody annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people focus way too much on the price conversation instead of talking about their goals. It's a wrong conversation if you're in a conversation about price. They don't choreograph the experience. They just leave it up to vibes and chance. And they don't have someone accountable to the KPI who can follow the process properly. Now, when you start and you're at the 0 to 150, that person is you. But as you continue throughout, you know, the journey, that person needs to be, you know, the throat to choke. And it's not going to be you eventually.
So the ones at the top, the ones that you work with.
Yeah. They have the dual converter framework. So someone who's selling the leads into the intro offer and then someone who's in charge of rollovers who looks after the newbies as soon as they step foot in the door. They follow the entire newbie protocol and get someone rolled over, and they can do it by the third session, and no one gets missed. They never miss on any of the non-negotiable things that equals 80% rollovers. They confront it every single week at their team meetings. They're constantly talking about it, and they go through the names. They don't just go, we need X amount of rollovers this week to hit 80%. That's awesome. But like the great ones, who are they? Who are the names? When are they in?
And then they check the attendance report. They go, okay, they are checked in.
Granular.
Put them in a headlock and get them to sign an easy debit.
They do not normalize like a below 70 or 80%. Like 70% is actually like what the fuck happened. Yeah.
You know what I noticed when we walk into some studios, when we're doing a lot more studio visits now, right? You know, the ones that are fucking flying, when we walk in and we go, where's the fresh meat? They go, no, we're already sorted. That person over there, that person over there, that's rolled over.
Exactly.
They know who they are in the room, right? Or if there is one in the room that is a bit of fresh meat, that is ready to roll, they know what the angle is and they know what to do next. Versus you walk in and go, well, who's the fresh meat? And they go,
let me check. Let me bring it up.
Let me look at the iPad. I think, is that, I don't know.
Is that Jane?
Is that? Yeah. And then you finish the class and you go, right, how'd you go?
Go with what?
Did you roll them over?
Who? Oh, whoops.
I think they've left, actually.
I'll call them tomorrow.
Yes, that's what it is. Or don't worry, they'll auto roll. No. Yeah, no. You can't leave it up to chance. It doesn't happen by accident to hit 80%.
I've discovered something from doing this report, that there is something common amongst the top 8% that they install that I'm calling the $1 Million Studio stack.
Okay. Share.
Anyway, that's the end of the episode.
Tell me more. What is it?
Okay. So here's what they install, and it's actually in this order. The first thing is they install a sauna.
No, they
I
don't.
think so.
Exactly. No, the first thing is offer engineering. They actually fuck off with the free trials and the cheap shit. They actually start to understand. This is the first time that they've ever been educated around profit from a point of sale perspective, CAC, cost to acquire a customer. So they understand profit, they understand offer economics is the first thing, right? Is they understand that, and most importantly, they understand the game of marketing. So they become the person on the block that can spend the most out of everyone else on their block to acquire a customer. And that's why they win. Everyone thinks their competitive advantage is their community. Guess what? Everyone's fucking got one. Yours isn't that special.
Yeah.
You know what a real competitive advantage is the fact that you can outspend your competitors because you know what your CAC is and you know that you can liquidate your CAC at point of sale. And if you're thinking, what the fuck did he just say? You definitely need to understand this.
Yeah.
Right? So like that is like when they've come in and they're like, oh my God, no one's ever fucking taught me this. I went to HQ inductions. I've watched all these books.
No one taught us
I've watched all these books.
Yeah.
I watched all.
Yeah. But not us either, right? Like, once you fucking understand your cost to acquire a customer and then how you liquidate it at point in sale so that your marketing becomes free, that's a power move.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And again, if you're listening to this and you're going, what the fuck did he just say? And you're located next to like one of our studios on your block, you're probably in trouble.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
And I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The second thing is sales systems.
Mm.
They've got a bulletproof sales system. A lot of studios, even some studios that are like completely unfiltered, it's not like anyone's listening. Sometimes our studios in our program, when we mystery shop them, they fucking shit the bed.
Yeah.
Right. So they're still winging it a little bit. Right. So the studios at the top 8%, they've stopped winging sales. It is a choreographed, like, I dare you to submit a lead. I would get to the point where like someone in the academy said the other day that they were on a bus with someone and they noticed the shirt that they were wearing and then they started asking questions about that shirt and they're like, fuck it. So they grabbed their details and goes, that's a lead, put them into the CRM
Good.
and they got the call as well, right? And they got the sale. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was me. I sat next to me on the bus. I was like, fucking weapon.
Love that.
Who was that?
I'm not going to name names.
They can blur it out. That's
No, I'm not going to name
fucking
names.
mad dog move.
Yeah, it's a mad dog move. So like leads are called within 5 minutes. They're followed up using our 3x3 method. They're closing 40% of paid leads into mid to high ticket offers. Then they're closing 80% of, warm organic leads as well. You get up to those and not you, the owner.
Mm.
That's the gangster move.
Yeah, you're just seeing those receipts come through
Right.
when you stop doing your deep work for
There
the
is
day.
nothing fucking better than you being at a barbecue on a fucking Saturday or a Sunday and then you get a receipt from a sale you didn't have to make.
It's the best.
That is the holy grail. Honestly, those little moments, that's what makes fucking business so fucking addictive when those moments happen and you've finally been able to like offload sales. And the other thing too is a team scorecard. The top 8% have a team scorecard. Every single person in their team has a number that they wake up to every single day and attack.
And they chase it down.
Yeah. They lead their team like a sports coach, right? They not a passive, hope manager, which we see all the time. So that's important. And they've got a full dashboard that they will use with us.
Yeah.
That they like fucking clockwork. Every single week they know where their key benchmarks are, what their key metrics are, lights up like a Christmas tree, and they know what to do next.
Yeah.
So but the biggest thing finally is like what I'm going to call the owner upgrade.
Ooh,
Like
okay.
we've upgraded them as the
Yeah,
pilots of
yeah.
their business. Because after all the studios that we've worked with for so many years, when we've matched all the data, it's not the concept, it's not the market, it's not how
Not
long
the
they've been in-
logo,
not the logo,
Not the skirgs.
is 100% not the plane, it's the pilot.
Mm.
But the sequel to that is just because you bought the plane doesn't mean you should be the pilot.
Oof.
So they have CEOs that act like CEOs. And they didn't start there when we first met them. Like I was convinced some of them couldn't even read and write. But eventually,
Could not follow an instruction to save their life.
hey, but now,
Yeah.
are we not fucking proud of them?
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
using AI. They're doing playbooks. Yeah. And they're winning at life and business. Yeah. We love them.
Like talk about matching their work ethic to actually focusing on the right things. That's where we create. I think what we sell is confidence.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or maybe transform. No, yeah. I don't know.
I think confidence is part of growth, overall
Mm.
growth. Yeah. It's direction. Like you feel more confident when you know where you're going, why you're going there, how
Now,
you're going.
If
to
that
it.
sounds like a lot and it feels like a lot, it's not actually, because the good news is you don't have to do everything at once,
You should not do everything at once.
You can't do it all once.
but you have to stop doing everything yourself.
Yes.
Like this is if I can just
Smack it.
you have to stop doing everything yourself. You are amazing. Everyone listening to this, you are amazing. I have no doubt you are amazing. I have no doubt you could do anything, but you can't do everything. Now, in the Academy, Soph's built these fucking maps. The journey from $0 to $1 million, we've basically distilled it down into a series of maps. And all you've got to do is follow the fucking maps.
Step by step by
Step by step, because the success is in the sequence, right? So the studios that break through aren't perfect. They're not, the owners aren't smarter than anyone
They're not
else.
geniuses.
They're not
No,
geniuses.
they're not in
And
special neighborhoods.
to
or
be
anything.
honest, like we still make, I don't care if you're the fucking best studio owner out. You start at the bottom so that you don't get to the top and have all of these gaps.
Yeah. So there's some stuff there. That's going to be in the report.
That's very exciting. Can't wait to see the rest of it.
Yeah. Anything else? What's going on?
We have a few questions, listener questions. So,
So I've been asking, do you want to explain how we're getting these?
So on Dozer's Instagram, we share when we're going to be doing a podcast. There's like a link to a thing called SpeakPipe. So it's the second time we've used this, but you can basically record and leave a voice message for us to listen to live and react to live. We haven't listened to these yet.
We've got heaps.
You can be anonymous or you can just say your name, and these people have. So
just read out a couple
to you guys. And then, we'll answer them live. So first one's from Leo.
Leo the Lion.
Hey, Dozer.
Yeah.
Mate, I am looking to hire a few salespeople.
Yeah.
And I've hired for this role before, and it just never works out. It just seems that none of these guys or girls can sell like I can. Mate, what do I do? Like, I don't want to make the same mistake again. It's going to cost me a lot of time and money. And I know that it's going to play such a big role in the growth of my business, but like, what advice do you have? And like, is there any hacks or tricks that you can share that, you know, are just going to help me get this right?
That's a good question. For a start, I like that he said I'm hiring a few, right? Because we always hire in pairs. Yep. We always hire in pairs because inevitably one won't work out and you don't want to be left with none. So you do all our hiring in Geronimo. What's his name? Leo. What might Leo be doing wrong at the moment?
It sounds like, like throwback to our systems and playbooks episode. It sounds like he's still relying on like his way of doing it. It's all in his head, and then obviously no one can live up to that standard. So, like, he's just got to get over himself, get the job out there, interview some people, and like test first hiring method. Get these guys in, 2 people in front of him, put the process in front of them, and drill them.
Have we done an episode on the hiring funnel yet?
Yeah,
we have.
I was going to say that
so
too.
Go back to the hiring funnel. When we've hired, so we ran a wolf pack, which is a sales team. We were the very first sales team in Australia that did sales on behalf of clients, not the people that you see out there right now. Where we had a team in Australia, New Zealand, and in the US. So I have recruited like more salespeople than I care to admit. The biggest thing that you've got to make sure that you do in the hiring process is right out the front is you've got to specify that you're actually used to using a script and used to doing phone sales. Most of the times when people say to us that they've hired a salesperson and we go, great, let's meet them. And the best thing that they've done is worked at fucking Bunnings or Coles or JJ's. It's like, that's not fucking sales. Like the sales we're talking about is calling leads off the phone, running through a script and asking for the credit card over the phone. So you've got to actually put that in the design of your role out the front into the job ad and then have a test, right? You've got that scorecard in place. They shouldn't get down to the studio and for you to realise that they can't do that. So there's a scorecard.
Yes.
Then there's a test before you hire them just to see that if they can actually do it. When we were recruiting for our sales team, we'd always hire in 2s or more. And it's almost like when they come in for the face-to-face, it's like they road tested with us, their script. And within the first 7 days, we wanted to know that they could actually make a sale with a live lead.
24 hours.
I know, with the good ones that we kept, 24 hours.
I'll also add, he said it's going to cost me a lot of money. What if it didn't? So I would say yes to hiring funnel. You've got to follow that whole process. Next thing is make sure you're actually offloading a proper playbook of how you need to do it. But then in terms of compensation, you can do this commission only. So pay for the outcome, pay for the result. Don't pay a salary just in hopes that they will do what you need them to.
Yeah, sales is like the easiest thing to hire for because they're revenue generating roles. Like a good salesperson you're not just breaking even on that person. They pay for themselves and then some.
Yeah.
From the outset. Yeah. So our goal is 3 times return on headcount.
We teach our members how to fucking hire salespeople for free.
Yeah, fully. And they fucking kill it.
Yeah, you shouldn't be losing money on making sales.
Thank you for your question, Leo.
Good stuff, Leo.
Next one is Sebastian.
Be bad, Seb.
As for someone starting out doing online coaching, and I guess in any online business, what tips would you give to help encourage and I guess give a good start with guidance to
Probably speed up a bit.
how to progress and gain traction and put yourself out there?
So new online coach
Yep.
wants to put himself out there, thoughts for a beginner.
Yes.
I go back to the rule of ones. Okay, pick one avatar that you want to go after, solve one problem for them, and put stick to the one offer for these people, right? Until you get to $1 million. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's what we did, right? It's absolutely a thing, like the rule of ones. Too many people, the mistake that I see is that they try and taste lots of different things and they don't just nail down and just dig far enough to what we call product market fit. When you're in startup phase, you're looking for product market fit. So what's his name? Sebastian?
Yeah.
Sebastian, that's all you need to do. Sebastian, that's all you need to do right now, my friend, is like if you're an online trainer, yeah,
Online coach.
find your niche. Who is it? Is it over 50? Is it over 40s that are looking for longevity and to look like a superhero? Are you going after like menopausal?
Why'd you put it in?
Oh, so I don't even bother you. Menopausal females. Are you going after fucking midgets? I don't know. Like,
that out.
Okay, yeah, but like, and then what problem are you solving for these people that you are doing like differently than everyone else? Different is better than better, by the way. And then what's the offer that you're putting in front of them that they would feel stupid saying no to? And then beyond that, do 5 for free. Get some testimonials, then ask them for referrals. Roll it again.
Love it. All right, last question from Sophie, and that's not me.
That doesn't count if it's you.
It's not me.
Hey guys, I'm a dance studio owner, and I just have a quick question in regards to how to convert both the parent and the student. That's probably the thing that I find interesting is we're currently doing the sale a day with Geronimo, and it's all about converting, say, the adult. But we've also, in a dance school environment, got to convert the kids. So is there anything that you can suggest to support that? Often we have no problem in doing that, and sometimes it's more the parent to convert, but we have to convert 2 people instead of just the one for the one sale. So would love any tips you have on that. The other thing I have is we have 3 different avatars, I would say, because we have a preschool program, so that parent is very different to the person or the customer who is in our afternoon school program, and then our adults program is also a very different avatar.
I'll tell you what we're going to do.
How do you...
One better than that is we are going to bring together a panel of the dance studio owners. Of dancers and even the dance studio owners that are in the academy. Yeah. Would that be cool?
I reckon that'd be awesome.
And then we'll do a deep dive for the dance owners.
We love the dance.
Because we'll obviously get back to what's her name? Yeah, we'll get back to her in the background.
How could you forget? Best name ever.
Yeah.
And look, there's going to be like parallels out there. You know, for like soccer coaches and stuff like that. Like it's similar kind of thing, right?
There's so many different formats that are coming to us now.
Yeah.
And the specifics of that, we'll go on better. We'll get a panel together. I know Jessie's keen, Jem will be keen. Like they're all so fucking keen, and they're fucking great, great chicks.
Yeah, we love it.
Would that be cool?
I think it'd be awesome.
All right, so we've gone through some trends. We've gone through some questions.
One last time, how do they get it?
How do they get what?
The trends.
Oh, the trends. Down in the show notes, by this time, so if you'll have it ready, there will be a landing page wait list. Get your name on that. You guys will be the first ones to get them. Or go to my Instagram, hey.dozer, and hit me up, go wait list. And also, I mentioned in a previous podcast, if you're keen to do like one of those lock-in sessions, like I forgot that we said it.
Yeah. Did people
fucking smash me.
No way.
And they're all offering their studios.
Oh, bless.
Awesome.
So we'll get it organised.
Yeah. So for anyone who didn't listen to that episode, what are you talking about?
We were talking about the win the quarter, win the month, and doing all that kind of business planning stuff, and like how we're talking about how we're running these events. We'd lock the doors and do a lock-in session, and I love it so much that I would do it, for the podcast audience for free. And I reckon it'd just be cool. Like we get out there and just meet some people from the public. So once again, if you want to do that as well, we will put a second landing page in the show notes where we can actually track. So we're doing a landing page, we'll do a wait list, we'll do studio name and location, and we'll fucking figure something out, and we'll make sure that you guys get invited. I'm pumped to meet you guys, the podcast audience. We'll do Secret Squirrel. I was at the Carriage Works today. That's kind of Secret Squirrel.
I like that.
But we might have to pay for that, so we'll go to a studio. All right. Is that it? We haven't eaten any popcorn.
I know. I'm starving. Let's do it.
All right. Love you lots, team. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. If something resonated with you, then do one of 2 things. Either leave a review or send this episode to a mate who's in the industry who might need to hear this. But if you want more right now, because your head might be spinning and you're like, all right, what the hell do I do right now? then in the show notes, you'll find a link to where you can book in for a free 15-minute checkup on your studio, where we get to have a look at how you're going right now and where some of the kind of quick win opportunities are to get you moving faster. I can't wait to be back in your ears next week. And if you're listening to this right now, I want you to know that I love you, I appreciate you, I'm grateful for you, and I'm in your corner. You are on the right track and I believe in you. So keep going, and I'll see you next week.